Hello students, today I am going to teach you Poem 1, a photograph by Shirley Tolson from your textbook Hornbill. Let me give you a brief introduction about the poetess. Shirley Tolson was born in 1924 in England. She is an editor of teacher, editor of child education and teacher of creative writing for adults. Shirley Tolson has been writing books on the social history of the countryside since 1974. She is a leading authority on ancient tracks and drove roads and is the author of The Drovers. When we look at any photograph, we get connected to the memories related to that particular photograph, isn't it? In fact, we love to cherish the moments captured in the form of photograph, and that makes it so special. And I'm sure you all must be having your favorite photograph along with some special memories, feelings, and sentiments associated with your favorite photograph. This poem, a photograph, is a tribute to the poet's mother, and that tells us how deeply the poet feels when she looks at an old photograph of her mother. This poem also reflects the memories of two women. First, the poet's memory in the form of her mother, who is no more in the world now. And second is the mother's memory in the form of her photograph of her childhood. And this photograph is actually referred to the title, a photograph. This poem is a nostalgic ride of the different phases of life. Nostalgic means when you feel homesick, when you miss your parents, your home, your dear and near ones so badly, and you want to go back to them, you want to go back to your home. That is nostalgic when you feel nostalgic. So this poem is a nostalgic ride of the different phases of life. First phase is mother's childhood. Second phase is the recent past when the poet and her mother were discussing about that particular photograph. And third phase is the present when the poet is looking at the photograph, the same old photograph, and is thinking about the old memories. Let's begin the poem now. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hands, and she, the big girl, some 12 years or so. In these lines, the poet is looking at an old photograph which is made up of a cardboard. That means that is referred to a kind of photo frame. Cardboard is a kind of photo frame. And in that picture, in that old photograph, there are three girls who are walking on the beach holding each other's hands. So, what were these three girls doing there on the beach? Actually, they had gone for their sea holiday just to have fun and they were enjoying. In that photograph, the girl in the middle is the tallest and eldest amongst them, and the other two girls on each side are younger than her. So, the girl in the middle is the poet's mother, and she was around 12 years old when that picture was clicked. A photograph preserves our past so that it never fades away. And this poem takes us through the little journey of emotions we experience as we look at old photographs, when all emotions break open and you are left with a bittersweet feeling. Let's move on to the next few lines of the poem. Was her past, mine is her laughter, both wry, with the labor ease of loss. Now the poet recalls the sea holiday was her mother's favorite moment from the past, while the poet's favorite moment from the past was her mother's laughter. And both the women would think about those past memories, old memories, which they cannot live again. They also tried to accept the loss. In these lines, wry means something ironic or mocking, a bad situation. We can say a bad situation that is slightly amusing, right? And labored ease of loss, labored ease. This is a figure of speech which is called oxymoron. Labored ease is an oxymoron. Oxymoron means when two entirely different words are used together. Labored is something which requires lot of hard work, and ease means which can be done easily. So the poet has used labored and ease together, right? So this is oxymoron. This is a figure of speech which is a combination of two entirely different words, and a statement contradicts itself. For example, known secret. How can a secret be known? Orderly confusion. Original copy. Original copy is an oxymoron. You are saying copy, but at the same time you are using original. So what is the difference? Now let's move on to the last lines of the poem. Now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived, and of this circumstance there is nothing to say at all. Its silence silences. In these lines, the poet says that her mother died 12 years ago, the same age her mother was in the photograph. Whenever the poet thinks of her mother's death, she cannot explain what effect she has of her mother's death. Death has silenced her mother, which has also left her speechless. At the end of the poem, the poet falls silent, for there are no words that can probably explain this feeling any further. The feeling of labored ease of loss. That means that old photograph moves her to silence. Nothing can be said about this situation. It is a part of life, and on thinking about it, one can find no words to express the pain one feels. The silence of the whole situation silences the poet, makes her so quiet. Her mother is dead, and she finds herself in a state where it is not possible for her to say anything. Only emptiness remains. In other words, she is left speechless. Now look at the construe. The poet is Shirley Olson. Theme is memories and transience of human life. Form is blank verse. It is written in blank form. Totally blank form. There is no rhyme scheme. The poetic devices used in the poem are alliteration, my mother's stand still, transferred epithet, terribly transient. The example I have written, transferred epithet is when the poet tries to depict something indirectly, when the poet uses one word to refer some other word indirectly. Next is personification. It refers to the circumstance, which is a non-living thing. And fourth one is oxymoron. I have already explained with example. Yes, students, today I am going to give you a new phrase, that is big cheese. Big cheese is a phrase used for someone who handles or manages everything, like CEO of any company, or the manager or principal or head of any organization.